Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning into News 9 Live. Now, the poll bugle has officially been sounded in Karnataka. The state goes to polls on the 10th of May. The counting and the results on the 13th of May, and so much is already happening. So many political chess pieces, moving on the board in Karnataka as well. And just a day after the announcement of the polls, BJP Karnataka stalwart BRS-JD, former chief minister of the state, after a long hiatus, has conducted a press conference. He declared that victory is certain for the party in the elections. He's also hinted that his son, B.Y. Vijendra, may contest against Siddaramaiah in Varuna. Meanwhile, there are enough hints of a crack in the Congress, with DK Shivakumar indicating that he is opposed to Siddaramaiah contesting from 2 seats. This as Siddaramaiah is now eyeing the Kolar seat after being given the Varuna seat as well. Now, the Congress High Command is to take a final decision on Siddaramaiah's 2nd seat. The party is likely to finalize a new list today. Meanwhile, it's also important to note that there is no particular list that has been put out by the Bharatiya Janata Party. We are going to take a look at what all is taking shape, what the JDS has to offer at this point in time, what has B.Y. Yediyurappa said, and at the same time, what does it mean for North Karnataka? That's also taking shape. But first and foremost, the rift inside the Congress party. DKS versus Siddaramaiah. It's a crucial time of the year. Take a look at what's happening nationally, and it's crucial that Congress take this particular elections really seriously and consider it as the right kind of launch pad. Will the two stalwart leaders of Karnataka Congress be able to meet each other or look at each other eye to eye? Well, that's what we're trying to decode here. Joining me in the studio is my colleague Varghese Abraham. Varghese, give us a sense of how you're looking into this particular rift. Is there a rift? If there is a rift, should there be a rift given the time, given the chances, given the scenario, what Congress stands at this point in time?
Well, if you ask me if there is a rift not on the surface right now, which was there in the last 3 months, but deep down, looking at the selection of candidates, we are looking at probably a rift in which we have Siddaramaiah's candidates as well as DK Shivakumar's candidates probably trying to be put in such a way that both the leaders feel that they have some kind of a hold in the legislature. So when we look at the list being prepared, of course, there have been several issues that have been raised as to who should stand where, because it also felt that which group you belong to, whether you were in Siddaramaiah's group or you were in DK Shivakumar's group. So one of the interesting facts that have come out is that Siddaramaiah has been trying to, in fact, contest in one more seat. Which is this one more seat? Well, it is Kolar, where he's been trying to say that he would go ahead and stand from that place. But interestingly enough, we have seen how Siddaramaiah in the previous elections had lost in one of the seats, that is from Chamundeshwari seat against JDS's GT Devegowda.
Right.
And won from Badami, but not by a huge margin, but had won from Badami at a small margin. He had won from there and still has been holding his sway in Karnataka's legislature as its opposition leader. DK Shivakumar, of course, has a huge stronghold, which is Kanakapura. And Kanakapura has been voting the Congress even in the MP elections as well as in the legislative election. We did see that it is a Congress bastion. Now, the reason why you are looking at the probable friction that's happening over the 2nd seat is probably DK Shivakumar is looking at cutting down the influence of Siddaramaiah within the Congress party in the Legislative Assembly, and he's also paving the way for his ambitions as well. So at the larger end of the bargain, he's trying to ensure that Kolar remains within the Congress fold where he can control, and rather than giving it to Siddaramaiah. Now, Siddaramaiah's loss in Chamundeshwari from his Mysore region. Now, Chamundeshwari and Varna are supposed to be constituencies that are very close to each other. Varna was given to his son, Yatindra. Dr. Yatindra had contested from Varna. So it is considered to be Siddaramaiah's bastion. So already when he's contesting from his bastion, what is the need for him to go ahead and contest from Kolar? So this has been going on as an internal debate within the Congress as well. But of course, we have Siddaramaiah, who has in fact proved to give a stable government for 5 years from the Congress without having any of the problems associated with, the coalitions with the JDS, where you see Congress leaders switching sides and things like that. So he has given that kind of a stability factor. But then you have an upcoming leader in terms of DK Shivakumar, who's been trying to establish himself as well. Last time, he had in fact made this claim saying that he has to be considered for at least the deputy chief minister of ship of the state when he tried to save the crumbling of the JDS Congress alliance at the first time, when he stopped a lot of MLAs from switching sides, and he was at the forefront of it. There was pressure groups that were formed, and they were in fact none other than then interim Congress President Sonia Gandhi, who was feeling the pressure of it when she was visiting Karnataka, and she had in fact gone and said, don't do this. She had categorically and openly told DK supporters not to do this. And then we find that after a few months, the whole of JDS and the Congress government collapses. And of course, there has been the rift that was created within it. And later, you find DKs in fact going out in the open and saying that, mind it, all these people who have gone will be coming back, and we will in fact ensure that we will see a flow of leaders from the BJP and JDS back into the Congress fold who has left us. So he's been keeping as well. You have seen a lot of Congress, BJP, turncoats who had gone to the other side coming back to the Congress as well. So clearly DK Shivakumar might in fact go ahead and demand his pound of flesh right now.
Absolutely. Basiraj Itnal, senior journalist, also joining us on the broadcast. Basiraj, help the viewers understand here. From what Varghese is talking about, these are both men of clear ambition. They both want their say in the party's power. Now, is this really petty ego issues at play? And if it is, do you think it's important they, sort out their differences, given Karnataka is being looked at as a very crucial election for the Congress this year?
See, there is it's a very nuanced kind of reading here. One is that DK Shivakumar is a Congress loyalist. He had been a congressman ever since he entered politics. Whereas Siddaramaiah is an import from JDS. And then as well, when Siddaramaiah came, he came with a very clear ambition that he has to be made the chief minister of Karnataka. For the exact reason, he had left JDS. He had left JDS because Devegowda could never make him CM face at all. So he came to Congress, and that was his understanding, and probably that was what was promised to him by the party high command. But then also there is a lot of murmurings that were heard among senior Congress leaders. But even then, yes, with the leadership of Siddaramaiah, they went to polls in 2013 and they won, and he was obviously made the chief minister. But again, the point here is, you look at any senior Congress leader, any tall leader of from any political party, they have confidence of their constituency always. They never lose confidence on their constituency, nor the constituency loses confidence in them. For example, Bangarappa. Till his last elections, he fought from a single constituency and he won. Sometimes he lost, but predominantly he won. So is Kharge, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge or Dharam Singh. These are the people who have the faith of the constituency in them. But what is happening here is, in the last elections, Siddaramaiah moves from Varuna to Badami. Not exactly moves, he contests from two constituencies. Contesting from two constituencies itself means that you have no confidence in one. And you are a state leader, you are projected as this huge, mass leader, but you don't have confidence in one constituency. Look at Yediyurappa. Yediyurappa doesn't contest in alternative constituency at all. So there is this also sends a signal of lack of confidence in the constituency and vice versa. And probably that is what DK Shivakumar is, basing his arguments on. Number one, as we all know, he is an aspirant to the top post, and why not? Every senior leader wants to be the chief minister at one point or the other time. Now Siddaramaiah has done, so DK Shivakumar says, why not me? And wherever he goes, even in the last couple of weeks also, wherever he goes, he keeps telling the rallies that give me one chance, give me Vakkalig as one chance, let me be the chief minister. He keeps on sending that message, and also at another level, he is calling BJP, the people who left Congress and went to BJP, come back. Okay. And also, anybody who wants to join Congress is openly inviting. That is the allegation of.
Essentially, Mr. Itnal, essentially, even though Siddaramaiah is the tall leader that he is, it seems like DK Shivakumar is the the one who's doing all the major and heavy lifting. But if at all, for once we can keep this aside, deem it a classic case of Tom and Jerry between the two stalwart leaders of the Congress party. Do you think it's right for Siddaramaiah to be eyeing Kolar, that Mysuru region? What's the contest like for him over there?
Siddaramaiah, by the way he's conducting his, elections, his own elections, not the party elections, it comes across as if he has no confidence. Because otherwise he would not, at one point he says that, people from Badami wants me to contest elections from there. At one time he says Kolar people want me there. At another time he is talking about Varuna or Chamundeshwari. So this flip-flop definitely, gives away his lack of confidence.
A very peculiar reason that I also heard was that, he wanted to shift from Badami because it wasn't as close to Bengaluru. So travel time was really long for Siddaramaiah, and that's why he wanted to change from Badami as well.
He did not think of it when he contested there. And there was a sitting MLA, Chimankatti, he is a very senior leader of Congress. He vacated seat for him. So Siddaramaiah did not know the distance between Badami and Bangalore then. So these are all flimsy reasons. Yeah.
Absolutely. Would you like to echo on what Mr. Itnal here is talking about?
Well, what he raised, of course, Mr. Itnal, I agree with the fact that when you give messages saying that you will contest from Badam, you will contest from Kolar, or you will contest from Varuna, you are not giving that exact message saying that you are confident of winning a particular constituency. But Varuna has been a constituency where you have a history of Siddaramaiah contesting from. In fact, Yatindra stood in that constituency in the previous election. So why still go for a second seat is what a lot of Congress insiders are asking. If Varuna is for sure, then why ask for Kolar? Why do you think that this could, why would you think that Siddaramaiah would be asking for Kolar again, especially when he has Varuna as a strong seat? Is it because probably he's also looking to ensure that his son's political career is not jeopardized as well?
Could be. That's number one. Number two, more importantly, what I see is Siddaramaiah at the corner of his mind might be harboring fears that the aspirants, the aspiring forces in Congress itself might work against him. Because there were this kind of allegations leveled on Siddaramaiah himself when it was said that he engineered defeat of Parameshwar. So that might be playing at the back of his mind, because not only opposition parties, some elements within his own party might not want him to come back to assembly. That may be playing behind all this.
Well, that is an interesting aspect of it that he has raised, that your own teammates might use you for the entire election process as well, but not want you in the assembly when the final picture arrives, Kabir.
Absolutely. Well, meanwhile, Mr. Itnal, do stay on with us, because there's another interesting thing that has happened today. BRS-JD in that press conference has hinted that his son, B.Y. Vijendra, might be contesting from Varuna against Siddaramaiah. So essentially, Varghese, more than just a battle at play here as well. We'll quickly take a look at those reactions coming from what exactly the former Chief Minister of Karnataka had to say this morning.
ಈ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ 100ಕ್ಕೆ 100 ಸೂರ್ಯಚಂದ್ರದಷ್ಟು ಸತ್ಯನೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸತ್ಯ. ನಾವು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟ ಬಹುಮತದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರವನ್ನು ರಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋರಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಾನು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಮುಖಂಡರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಾಯಕರು ಯಾರು? ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಪ್ರಧಾನಿ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಸಮನಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆಯೇನೋ? ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನವರು ಹಗಲುಸ್ ಕನಸು ಕಾಣ್ತಾರೆ, ನಾವೇ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಅಂತ. ಇದು ಕೇವಲ ತಿರುಕನ ಕನಸು. ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ಸಹ ಅವರು 60-70 ಸೀಟ್ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಗೆಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹೀಗೆ ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಜನ ನಮಗೆ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬೆಂಬಲವನ್ನೇನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದು ಪುನರಪಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ವಿಧಾನಸಭಾ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಜನರ ಬೆಂಬಲ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಇದೆ. ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ವಿಜಯ ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಯಾತ್ರೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ 4 ತಂಡಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡೀ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯ ಗಾಳಿ ಬೀಸೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ಷರಶಃ 15-20 ಸಾವಿರ ಜನ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಸಭೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರಿದಂತದ್ದು. ಇದೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಸಹ ಜನರ ಒಲವು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಬರುವಾಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಚಿತ್ರ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. We will try to convince them. Because of some misunderstanding, such things might have happened 1 or 2 places. But throughout the state, everybody is happy about the reservation decision and nobody is unhappy. Only 1 or 2 places that such things happened. We will try to convince them.
Well, so quite interestingly, couple of angles that, Yediyurappa is hitting over there. He's talking about the Muslim quota as well. He's talking about how the contest for Siddaramaiah from Varuna is not going to be easy because there are talks. His son, B.Y. Vijayendra, might contest the elections from Varuna against Siddaramaiah. Lavanya Balal, Congress spokesperson, they're also with us on the broadcast. Lavanya, how are you looking at the latest reaction that's come from the former chief minister? He's quite confident, and I'm sure both the parties are going to suggest that their parties are going to be winning this particular election with a thumping majority. But the bottom line remains that it is going to be crucial for how the Congress performs in this particular election. Looking at just the seat of Varuna and what Yediyurappa ji has said, how are you looking at Siddaramaiah versus B.Y. Vijayendra contest?
No, we are not looking at Siddaramaiah versus Vijayendra. We are looking at Siddaramaiah winning the election. So it doesn't matter to us who is contesting against Siddaramaiah ji. That doesn't matter to us. Whoever it is, it will be from JDS and BJP, right? So
do you think it's going to be difficult? Do you think it's going to be difficult? Yediyurappa was of the opinion that it's going to be a difficult contest for Siddaramaiah, considering Siddaramaiah's stature to, a person younger than Siddaramaiah. It seems like it's going to be Siddaramaiah's battle to lose, and Yediyurappa on the other hand seems to suggest that the BJP is confident of that.
Yeah, well, see, we cannot forget that the BJP itself denied an MLC ticket to Vijayendra last year in 2022. So, of course, as a father, I think he has to promote his son, and he's making the right noises as a father, promoting his son's political career. Having said that, look at how BJP has treated Mr. Yediyurappa. Not so great. It has been a very shabby treatment of this big Lingayat leader. I would say he's one of the biggest mass leaders for BJP in Karnataka, as well as across the nation, I would say. But then he's been treated very shabbily by the BJP. And if you look at the opinion polls, I'm actually on a campaign mode, and we have visited quite a few villages.
Right.
Even people who have voted for the BJP last time are fed up of the kind of administration BJP has been delivering. The price rise is one of the biggest grouse common man has, and the kind of election guarantee that the Congress has come out with is something that everybody's quite keen on. So we are not very concerned about the statements BJP leaders are making. We know we are going to win this election. The energies are very high within the party cadre, and we are going to form the government. In 60 days, I think Karnataka will have a good government.
Well, that smile is really confident, Lavanya, I must tell you that. But now that you've told us that you're on the ground campaigning at this point in time, what are some of the prime issues? What's the area that you're in right now? What are some of the prime issues people are focused on?
People are very upset about, one, the gas price rise, all right? And the other one is the fuel price rise. They're very, very concerned about those two. And then, if you talk to the farmers, the grouses, whatever we grow, we do not get a great MSP. But then in the market, if you go to buy the same thing, the price is so high, the pulses are so expensive. And if you look at Karnataka, the coastal Karnataka, we are not people who grow vegetables here. Everything has to come from other parts of Karnataka. The vegetables are super expensive here. And that is something people are very upset about. The cost of living has shot up in the past few years. And that is something people are concerned about.
Absolutely. We also have, Basaraj Jitnal, who continues to be with us on the broadcast as well. I just wanted to have his opinion on the fact. Basaraj ji, how are you looking at this particular contest, Siddaramaiah versus BY Vijendra? It is going to be more than just a battle. It is almost like a prestige issue now.
It is. It is a do or die situation for Siddaramaiah there. And at the same time, Vijendra had been cultivating Varuna constituency for quite some time now. He would be he had been going there, and he has built some sort of a support base. He had found a considerable amount of people support also there, and such being the case, and this we must invariably read this in the context of Siddaramaiah opting for two constituencies. That itself gives away. So whether it is Vijendra, Raghavendra, whoever is your opponent, or JDS, whatever or Congress was telling, that apart. But your own demeanor doesn't give out that confidence as far as Siddaramaiah is concerned. What happens to Congress? What happens to BJP? What happens to JDS as a party? We still have 3 weeks to go for that to see.
Absolutely. Varghese, your tidbits on the fact of this particular prestige issue battle that's shaping up in Varuna.
Well, it's a big battle that is shaping up over there, and one of the things that would have ramifications on the leadership change within the Congress, whether you're going to see a delayed leadership ascend of DK Shivakumar, or if in these elections it works according to what some insiders would like to have, that is remove Siddaramaiah from the picture, then it would lead to an immediate ascendancy of DK Shivakumar to the top post. So there is something that is playing out in that direction as well. So it is going to be a big battle, and it also looks like as a strategy to ensure that Siddaramaiah is tied down in his own constituency. In fact, I think I should ask Itnal also. They had Basaraj Itnal. It looks like a strategy, complete strategy to ensure that Siddaramaiah is tied down campaigning in his own constituency and is unable to, in fact, go towards the other constituency. Similar strategy that they did with GT Devegowda in Chamundeshwari as well. So I think that is the kind of strategy that they are playing out with. So first I'll go to Basaraj Itnal, and then we'll go to Lavanya asking whether that is a strategy that the BJP is in fact looking at, tying down their mass leader in his particular constituency itself.
It's extremely important, Varghese, that, unless you tie down the players, you cannot frame the strategy of the game. You have to, it's very difficult to draw the battle lines, unless you know who is where. So that is the strategy of the BJP. That could be strategy of any other party, but coming back to Siddaramaiah's situation, look at the kind of leaders he has created resentment, whether expressed or implicit, in Congress itself. Kharge, Parmeshwar, and Muniappa. All these are very tall leaders in their own right. And he has created a resentment among them. And now, that is his biggest challenge. His biggest challenge is not DK Shivakumar. DK Shivakumar is a symptom of this resentment. His challenge is to how does he contain resentment within the party so that he can fight an election comfortably and win.
Well, in fact, they used to in fact say that within the Congress in Karnataka, there is a real Congress and then there is a JDS Congress. So you're saying that finally this rift has come to the fore when this election is coming up, saying that a lot of people in the Congress wants the real Congress restored and the JDS Congress completely removed.
Not exactly that. Contained, not removed, maybe contained. That may be the strategy. Because if you remove a sizable part of that support system, Congress will not sustain.
Okay. In fact, let's go to Lavanya and ask that same question as to, it looks like the strategy of the opposition is to tie down Siddaramaiah to his constituency. But at the same time, it is well known that there is a rift between the real Congress and the JDS Congress. Do you, in fact, subscribe to that view?
Absolutely not. There is nothing called as JDS Congress and the real Congress. I don't know who has been telling you all of this. I've been working so closely with the party for the past 6 years, and they are congressmen right now. Yes, they at one point of time they came from JDS, but they are part of Congress, and they leaders who have come from there have become ministers and MLAs and everything. So there is nothing called as JDS Congress and Congress. Also, when you talk about how Siddaramaiah ji is tied down to a constituency, that is how it should function. A candidate who is looking at contesting, he should be tied down to his constituency in the last few weeks of the election. Siddaramaiah ji had to travel across the state and campaign across the state, and he's effectively done that till date. And once the election has been declared, we all knew that he's going to be contained within his constituency, and that's why I am so sorry about that. I'm sorry about that.
That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine.
So there's nothing called as the opposition tying down Siddaramaiah ji in a place.
Well, absolutely.
And
Well,
I'm
you know
sorry
what?
about that. I'm sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine. Please take care of yourself. We're going to come back to you. Do stay with us. At the same time, Varghese, it's also important that we also take a look at the kind of chess pieces that are moving in the northern part of the state. Give the viewers, a sort of like a highlight what's really happening. You've got some key players in the northern part of the state that's really, heating up politically.
Well, the northern part of the state is considered to be a very diverse mix, especially because of the history it has. It has, in fact, the old surnames would be like Bombay Karnataka region as well as Hyderabad Karnataka region, part of the Hyderabad state as before. Now, North Karnataka has been, over the years, gaining ground with the BJP. Because of the Lingayat influence in North Karnataka.
Just to tell the viewers as well that we've got live visuals over here. DK Shivakumar, that's the press conference he's going to attend. And even as we're talking about these rifts, we've got the two tall leaders on the dais together. Which usually is, sometimes it's the mic that's left on and they've uttered something that they shouldn't have, and that comes out in the open. Sometimes it's pure ego, sometimes it's the CM's post. There's so many things at play here, but the press conference, it makes sure for the optics at this point in time, it's but imperative that both the leaders are there together and aren't holding press conferences or attending press conferences differently. But circling back to that North Karnataka battle, even as the leaders settle down, and we'll quickly cut across to them as well. The North Karnataka battle at display, what are some of the key points?
Well, the key points that we'd be looking at North Karnataka is one of the issues that North Karnataka has constantly, as a region, raised has been development. Secondly, the issue about North Karnataka has been revolving around Belagavi. Belagavi's status and the villages in Belgaum, of course, having a border dispute with Maharashtra. The current BJP has been accused of going very soft on it. Especially after the change of government in Maharashtra, where we have the Fadnavis and Shinde, in fact, coming into the picture. They have been accused of being very soft on it. And Bommai has been also accused of being quite soft on Karnataka's territorial integrity, which the Congress has raised a lot of issues on. So in North Karnataka, these factors are also at play. So you have the Lingayat factor at play, as well as the issue about territorial integrity of Karnataka and the age-old issue, that is the issue about development. North Karnataka has always been feeling that it has been left out when it comes to the budgets, when it comes to the major projects. It was only during the chief ministership of H.D. Kumaraswamy earlier, as well as some of the Yediyurappa's time also, that they started to give a lot of importance to North Karnataka, and they had got the second legislative house in North Karnataka as well. So you have a replica of the Vidhan Saudha, and you have sessions also being held in Belagavi. So all these have been done to, of course, most of them have been concentrating on the territorial integrity of Karnataka's boundaries with the north. But at the same time, the other two issues about how to sway the Lingayats, as well as the issue of development also is something that we have to look at North Karnataka.
Absolutely. Let's cut across to Basaraj Itnal as well. Basaraj, even as we're looking at visuals of DK Shivakumar inducting some more members, that reverse drain from the BJP back into the Congress, that keeps on happening from statue politics. So much is happening. Do you think this reverse drain is going to bolster Congress's performance this time around? DK Shivakumar is quite confident that this time around the target 150 is going to be achieved.
DK Shivakumar is an excellent backroom engineer. He can, and he is a very hands-on leader. Whereas Siddaramaiah continues to be a mass attraction. Having said that, this not. The first question is: would this reverse drain help Congress prospects? Yes, it would, by affecting the BJP's prospects marginally, not substantially. And about North Karnataka, I happen to be from Belgaum. It's my hometown. Belgaum is not, though in media we keep talking about the border issue being the main, the main factor for the region. It is not. Belgaum is headquarters of a huge Lingayat institution called KLE. Belgaum is probably the largest district with largest Lingayat population. Not only Belgaum, all the adjoining, cities in the neighboring states. For example, Kolhapur, Miraj, Sangli, here Solapur. These are all Lingayat dominant places. So, as far as Lingayat vote base is concerned, language doesn't play a huge role there. But what language is being used is to incite pro-Maharashtra organizations there, so that a reverse, there will be a reciprocal effect on Kannadiga organizations here in Karnataka. That's all. And also, not only we've done so that, like Varghese was saying, we have a high court there now, we have an IIT, we have an entire ecosystem, that is there in Bangalore. So, North Karnataka had been the mainstay of BJP. If North Karnataka Lingayats left BJP, BJP is finished in the state. That's why it becomes as much important to Congress, because Congress needs this Lingayat support base. For example, MP Patil runs his own empire of education institutions called BLD, or Shamur Shivshankarpa, who has his own empire of educational institutions. So Lingayats had been a major factor in central Karnataka and North Karnataka, and since they have inclined towards BJP, that's why Congress prospects have been curtailed. So Congress needs to address that, and DK Shivakumar is doing just that.
All right. Well, so it seems like the work is cut out for the Congress party, and work is being done at the same time as well. Many thanks, Basaraj Idnal, for joining us and helping us out with your insightful inputs. It's always a pleasure to be speaking to you as well. And Varghese, even as we talk about, northern Karnataka, let's also take a look at the urban areas as well. And more importantly, the factor of the Telugu-speaking votes as well. Because you see, K. Chandrasekhar Rao, he has his ambitions of a national footprint as well. He's been going to places in Maharashtra, and he is going to be supporting the JDS this time around as well. In this bitter battle for the Karnataka, just for the viewers, Telugu votes are going to be playing a significant role as well. Telugus are the third largest ethnic group in Karnataka, which is about 15% of Karnataka's population, and is estimated to be the third most spoken language in Karnataka after Kannada and Urdu. Now, K. Chandrasekhar Rao campaigning for the JDS in Karnataka polls is something that is being seen as a major pull for the Telugu voters. Yet again, let's not forget, at least 12 districts of Karnataka have a sizable Telugu population. Karnataka votes on the 10th of May, and counting of these votes are going to take place on the 13th of May. In the studio, my colleague Varghese continues to be with us to help us decode the Telugu-speaking population topic as well. Nageshwar Rao, political analyst, he's going to be joining us soon as well. But Varghese, just to get the ball rolling, how important is it for KCR to firstly, enter the Karnataka politics? Because Karnataka politics, even with Yediyurappa's press conference where Rahul Gandhi's jibe has been invoked, Prime Minister Modi is being talked about, there's the Maharashtra and Belagavi angle on the other end. It seems like it's the center point at this point in time. How important is it for KCR to be bagging some sort of limelight? And also help us understand, why did he choose to back out? He was going to contest on some of these seats as well. It seems like he's not going to contest, but lend support to the JDS.
Well, interestingly enough, it works for both of them. One, probably at a local level, the BRS is happy enough to give some space to a regional party like the JDS. And for the JDS, it works because they do not have the kind of presence they want to have in North Karnataka. They are more dominant in south of Karnataka. But coming to the question about the Telugu states and the Telugu population that is there, when we look at the districts that are adjoining Telangana, especially those districts that are from the erstwhile state of Hyderabad, of the Nizam, you have a lot of these districts having dual population. You have Kannadigas as well as you have Telugu-speaking population. And then down some of these areas like very close to like Raichur, Gulbarga, these are the areas where you have a lot of Telugu-speaking population, and they account to almost 15% of the population in Karnataka. And in Bengaluru, which has got 28 constituencies, they do have a huge sway, and they also have leaders such as Ramlinga Reddy, his daughter, all hailing from the Telugu-speaking community, who have actually had a huge way in Bengaluru. So this is something that is a vote group or a pressure group that you need to ensure that is with you. And
do you think it's going to end up helping the JDS at this point in time? Is it going to be, I mean, all support is going to be welcomed, but is it going to translate into actual?
Well, that's again a big question to be asked, because whether BRS has that kind of influence to ensure that it can elevate JDS's fortunes in North Karnataka is a big question mark, though they are trying to do it. But if BRS had made a direct entry, probably they would have had their own MLAs, in fact, in the picture. But looks like there seems to be some kind of an agreement between the JDS and the BRS on that. So let's see how that is going to, in fact, function out. Another major area is Bellary. Bellary, again, was part of the Madras presidency, again having a huge population. And then the linguistic carving of the states, you have Bellary, a part of Karnataka. And there's a huge population of Telugu-speaking people. And you have, of course, the Reddy brothers, who also have Telugu origins. So these are some of the factors that are there within Karnataka when you come to the Telugu population. And it is important that the right kind of representation is given to them, because we cannot say that they are actually completely a Telugu-speaking population. They are actually what some of the people would say Telugu-Kannadigas. They call themselves, because they have both the identities. Some of their families are, just across the border kind of a thing. So they have dual identities at times. There have been instances when some of them had moved from Raichur to Telangana, when the Telangana state formation was there, to register themselves over there, then came back for work this side, and they registered this side. There's a lot of funny anecdotes that can be given about how the communities, in fact, wave across the border. So this is something that is a very huge pressure group, and it has to be, in fact, included within the political structuring that any party in Karnataka would have to speak about.
Well, absolutely. And, just looking at the urban areas and urban pockets as well, there you've got the Bengaluru urban, you've got Bengaluru. Now, these are places where, you've got population from outside Karnataka that has come in over the years as well. Talk us through some non-Kannadiga votes as well, not just Telugu-speaking votes, but, some other votes. You've got some Malayalam votes, you've got some, Tamil speakers over there as well.
Interestingly enough, outside Tamil Nadu, the second largest homogeneous Tamil population is found in Bengaluru and in Karnataka. And in Bengaluru, the migration came when Bangalore became a part of the idea of military garrisons that had to be there, and you had the British, in fact, bringing soldiers from the Madras regiment and the sappers. They were brought into Bengaluru, and they had initially settled down in Bengaluru. So there's a huge population of Tamilians in Bengaluru, and they also have a huge sway in the way the votes, in fact, are given to any politician. Because, as I said, Bengaluru has got 28 constituencies. So Bengaluru is a huge urban conglomerate of constituencies. But at the same time, Bengaluru doesn't vote homogeneously. They do vote heterogeneously with all this. Another population we're talking about is the Malayali population that is there in Karnataka. Initial figures were like 8 lakhs, but most of them are, again, not concentrated across Karnataka, but they're concentrated mostly in Bengaluru, and especially in South Bengaluru. So how do these populations also factor in is something that we need to see when it comes to Bengaluru predominantly, especially the constituencies that are there in the parliamentary constituency of South Bengaluru. Now, Bengaluru is divided into North Bengaluru, Central Bengaluru, and South Bengaluru when it comes to the parliamentary constituencies. So the sway of these voters are mostly found in Central as well as South Bengaluru, and this is where these populations and these non-Kannadiga groups, in fact, matter. And we have seen time again that there is an effort that is always carried out by the Congress, the JDS, or even the BJP to get these leaders from their respective states to come and campaign for it. For example, you had the JDS, in fact, having an alliance, being an alliance with the Kerala's LDF, right, getting in CPM leaders to, in fact, campaign for it in Bengaluru. Similarly, Congress got Umman Shanti to come and campaign in Bengaluru. Then you have, as we are going to see, probably KCR and BRS leaders are going to campaign in the Telugu-speaking states, Telugu-speaking districts of Karnataka, pardon me. And this is going to be quite significant when you see that how we are going to see Karnataka's population and language groups are going to play a very important role in it. So these are some of the things that are interesting to see about Karnataka, because Karnataka technically is not a very homogeneous state when it comes to language populations. It is also a very heterogeneous state. It has its own, what do you call, other than Kannada, you have Konkani as well as Tulu as well as Kodava, the language that is there, and you have the Beri language as well. So these population groups also have a sense of voting as such, but predominantly they have their identities as Kannadigas, and these groups, who have been in fact migrants from the time of the British, also hold sway when it comes to the final result.
Well, absolutely. But, apart from all these other languages as well at play, Malayalam and the Tamil voters as well, Telugu voters is something that, is being wooed and being looked at. We're joined by Nageshwar Rao, political analyst, and Bhaskar Hegde, our network colleague, who's editor for TV9 Kannada as well. Bhaskar, quickly, let's go across to you. How important is it going to be for H.T. Kumaraswamy to, let's say, use somebody like KCR? And now that we know Chandrasekhar Rao is lending his support, how crucial are these Telugu votes? Should they be wooed with all power that the JDS has?
Yeah, Kabir, very, very fascinating subject actually. In fact, as I was listening to Mr. Nageshwar Rao, it's a very interesting subject. It's probably one of the very few states in India which is so diverse that nobody would see this kind of diversity in any other state to begin with. Now, coming back to the issue of Telugu-speaking people, I would much rather speak about, there are so many factors like, Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, and even Jharkhand, people from West Bengal and Odisha, UP, Madhya Pradesh, and Rajasthan, West Bengal. So, if we, on the floor of the House, Chief Minister Bommai gave a reply a few days back, considering that people of only 40 to 45% people in Bangalore are native Kannadigas. This is an official figure given by Bommai last year. This really reflects the diversity of Bangalore city itself, number one. Number two, if you take Karnataka as a whole, up north in Hyderabad, Karnataka, you see Nizam ruling Karnataka much before this. So that's why it's called Hyderabad, Karnataka. And slightly North Karnataka, it was part of Bombay province. That's why it was called Bombay, Karnataka. And of course, southern part is Mysore province and this Madras presidency. So the influence of Tamil could be seen here. So that's why if you take all these factors, cultural factors into consideration, but actually as Nageshwar mentioned, so in Karnataka as a whole, nearly 45 to 60 lakh people speak Telugu, they read Telugu, probably perhaps, they have a kind of connection with Telugu. So if you see from Kolar in southern tip, up north in, say, Raichur,
Right.
then you can see people speaking in fluent Telugu, and they have a family connection, they have business connection. There are a lot of issues. So that's the first story of Telugu. Now coming back to Tamilians mainly concentrated in central part of Bangalore. Mainly, there are two Lok Sabha constituencies. And Malayalis focused, I think their concentration is only 3 or 4 assembly segments. And it was a coincidence that wherever Malayalis there, not necessarily they are swinging the voter pattern, but in those assembly constituencies, we could see Congress winning seats. It's not necessarily the Malayali vote, but it's also one of the factors. Now, the other interesting factor, quickly I will take you through.
Yep.
North Indians. Rajasthan is in a large chunk of population, Jains and non-Jains. And a very interesting factor I noticed here is Jains, majority of them are part of Karnataka electoral rolls. And even though the more number of non-Jainis are residing in Karnataka, only half of them have registered in voter base in Karnataka.
Well,
That's
absolutely.
another
You know,
fact.
Bhaskar, we're going to come back to you. And just a slight correction there. That was actually Varghese in the studio, not Mr. Nageshwar Rao. We're going to go to him now for his initial comments. Mr. Rao, how are you looking at this bonhomie that has been created between HD Kumaraswamy and K. Chandrasekhar Rao? What kind of impact will this have on other parties' vote share? Let's not forget the JDS is eyeing about 123, 24 odd seats if, you know, statements of HDK are anything to go by. Your opinion?
No, first, let me clarify. My name is no Rao. I am only K. Nageshwar. So, K.
Well,
Nageshwar. There is no Rao in my name. So, coming to your question, well, KCR BRS is only a latest kind of an experience. It is to be tested. Never the Telugus have shown the political ambitions linked to their linguistic identity outside the Telugu land. In fact, during the N.T. Ramarao's time also, Telugu has not shown any impact on the non-Telugu geographical territories. There's a large number of Telugu people in Chennai, in Bengaluru, even in Delhi. So there was never an instance of the Telugu people showing their politico-linguistic aspirations on a non-Telugu geographical territory. This was even at the time, even at the height of the Telugu identity assertion during the N.T. Ramarao at Telugu, and even during the assertion of the Telangana identity during the Telangana movement. So therefore, the inference which I want to draw is the claims that the KCR will show a lot of influence in Hyderabad, Karnataka are still unfounded. It has to be tested on the ground, number one. Number two, the very character of Janata Dal Secular is essentially not based on any linguistic identity. It is essentially based on the caste identity. So everybody knows that it is essentially the Vakkaliga factor in the whole Mysore, in the southern Karnataka region. So there is no common identity or common unity between the Telugu-speaking community and the Vakkaliga
Nageshwar, focusing only on Bengaluru, we've got some 25 lakh Telugu speakers over there. And at the same time, you know, it's a very youth-heavy populated area. Do you think the JDS is going to create some sort of dent for the Congress or the BJP in the Bengaluru urban, these kind of areas?
No, my question is very simple. The first point is the Telugus are not united. Let me tell you, there is the regional aspirations. There is the Telugu population from Simandra region, Telugu population, Telangana region.
So Mr. Nageshwar, now that you said that the Telugu vote base is not united, then what kind of help do we expect from somebody like K. Chandrasekhar Rao?
That itself is $1 million question, which I'm telling you. What kind of help? So it is still untested and unfounded. So the KCR wants to show some impact on in the regions which are adjoining Telangana, in the Gulbarga region, in the regions which are geographically coterminous with Telangana. But that is still untested. As of today, there is no empirical base to conclusively comment that KCR will be of immense help in terms of transfer of vote. Well, it may be helpful in other aspects of poll management, I really don't know. But in terms of the transfer of vote, that has a very little role to play. So there is a history where there is a very significant number of Telugu people in Chennai. Did they show any kind of reflection of the Telugu political identity in Chennai? Never. They were either voting for ADMK or DMK. But never the Telugu politicians have played any influential role in Chennai politics. Though there is a difference, there are Telugu people in Atlanta, in Dallas, in New Jersey, but there is no Telugu politician showing impact to the Democratic or Republican Party. If you look at India's linguistic politics, only when there is a linguistic confrontation, then the linguistic identity plays into politics beyond the geographical. For example, in the Belgavi region, you have the Marathi, Kannada.
That's actually quite an interesting point, Professor Nageshwar. That's actually quite an interesting point. I'd like to take this to Varghese as well. You know, Professor Nageshwar has given us real good examples about how, fractured political identity doesn't really, mean like you come one day and suddenly you can, consolidate those kind of votes. It's a linguistic angle that then, promotes or acts as a catalyst for these votes to come together. Are you echoing on any of these examples? He's talking from New Jersey to Chennai. He's given us all sorts of examples.
Well, see, there is one aspect of it, and he rightly pointed out, saying that the million-dollar question is, would there be any transfer of votes? And the aspirations of the Telugu-speaking population is significantly met within the parameters of Karnataka's politics. As he said, there is no language confrontation. If it was a language confrontation, then the linguistic identity would have been an important factor. So right now, as he said, the million-dollar question is, what is this going to in fact lead to? As I said, the JDS might be thinking, because it doesn't have a base, might be thinking some sort of a presence in North Karnataka. But then again, it is a very distant thought that is there, that whether they will in fact make that kind of a presence, because they are, as he rightly pointed out, there's a caste factor to it, and as well as being a South Karnataka party. So these aspects have to be looked into. So therefore, it is what I was also trying to say, that the Telugu population will in fact reflect the heterogeneity of their voting pattern. Though they might be a single linguistic group, they will be heterogeneous, and the local factors might be the reasons why they vote for party A, B or C. So it is going to be prominent that they would be voting heterogeneously. But then which party can capture that imagination, because they are a huge community that is there.
Absolutely. Professor K. Nageshwar, well, you're right in pointing out that it's too soon to say anything about it. It is a hit and trial, method that, KCR is going for. But if this plan then becomes successful, if he is really able to translate this into any kind of votes for the JDS, what does it mean for K. Chandrasekhar Rao's national ambitions then?
Well, it means more than national ambitions, it has serious implications for KCR politics in Telangana. Because everybody knows the history of Kumaraswamy. Kumaraswamy can conveniently swing towards the BJP or to the Congress. Assuming that there is a clear verdict in Karnataka where Kumaraswamy doesn't have a maker role, there is no headache for KCR. But if the Karnataka electorate gives a fractured verdict, and if they throw out the hung assembly, I'm sure that Kumaraswamy will either cling towards the BJP or towards the Congress, whoever offered them the chief minister post. In either case, you will have to, KCR will have to pay the price for Kumaraswamy's politics, because KCR today faces both the Congress and the BJP as opposition here. If he supports Kumaraswamy, it is a liability for KCR in Telangana. So, because if Kumaraswamy goes with the BJP, the post-poll scenario, what can KCR answer? The Congress will say that the BJP, Kumaraswamy and KCR are one and the same. Assuming that Kumaraswamy swings towards the Congress, then still it will be the advantage BJP. BJP will say all these people are part and parcel of the same game. So the Congress, BRS and the JDS. I really don't understand what is the political gain for the KCR in the post-poll scenario. The only factor then is that in case if there is no fractured verdict, if there is a clear verdict in favor of either Congress or BJP, where the JDS has no role to play, KCR can sleep peacefully. Otherwise, he will have to pay the price for his Karnataka political games. So I think it doesn't really help him in Telangana, because Kumaraswamy will in no way can bring votes in Telangana. And everybody knows Kumaraswamy style of politics. He was there when during the formation of the BRS. In the subsequent KCR's mega rally in Khammam, there was Arvind Kejriwal, Akhilesh Yadav, Pinarayi Vijayan, but Kumaraswamy was conspicuously absent.
Well, absolutely. I do agree with you. I do agree with you that K. Chandrasekhar Rao has been doing the rounds nationally, and it's not just H.D. Kumaraswamy. Neither is the bonhomie between these two, political leaders something new. They have been meeting and seeing each other as well. But Bhaskar, just to wrap this discussion up, we know that it's going to be a hit and trial method. We'll have to wait and watch what it means for JDS lending support, borrowing support from the K. Chandrasekhar Rao led party. But at the same time, JDS, H.D. Kumaraswamy, we were talking about cultural, the culture war and the social sops being offered by the BJP and the Congress. The JDS, H.D. Kumaraswamy, has offered the middle class and the poor class, some sort of social sops as well. There's going to be subsidy on 10 gas cylinders. There's going to be some particular amount of money that's going to be given to the females in these houses. Is that going to create an impact? How much of help will that be for the H.D. Kumaraswamy-led party?
I think it's we have to wait and see as far as these particular promises he made about gas cylinder, giving a 10,000 rupees to farmers, families, and so on. Now there are 2 points which I would like to add to Professor Nageshwar's point of view. Number one is this Telugu-speaking people. Basically, they are third generation, fourth generation, and they are culturally connected with Telangana or Andhra Pradesh, but need not necessarily carry the same political identity or same political attachment with the political parties of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. That's why, even though K. Chandrasekhar Rao comes and campaigns for JDS, I doubt it may have a big impact on electorate in Karnataka, number one. Number two, there is an inherent contradiction in this, because JDS always tries to carry the image, always tries to build an image of Kannada party, Kannadiga party, regional party, and more so with some districts where JDS is present, Kannada is very strong. Even Kannada will be seen in those districts where JDS is strong. When JDS, the districts where JDS is strong, there the Telugu population is very less. The districts where Telugu population is very strong, their JDS is slightly weak. Therefore, I think the JDS strategy to bring Chandrasekhar Rao may not yield much results this time.
Well, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see what this Telugu vote base is going to do. Is this political identity of the Telugu speakers fractured? Is it going to help the JDS? What about K. Chandrasekhar Rao's entry into the politics as well? Final comments from you, Varghese. It's going to be an interesting Karnataka elections already. We can already tell. You very eloquently put forth what's happening in North Karnataka as well. Just as final comments, what do you see as KCR's game plan here? What's really happening inside his head?
Well, it's quite difficult to understand, like, how would he be able to swing votes within a non-confrontational linguistic kind of a situation in Hyderabad, Karnataka region. So probably it's just that giving that campaign part of it to helping out Kumaraswamy with campaigning in those regions. But translation of votes is going to be quite difficult. And probably it is a long-term plan of the BRS trying to establish a presence in the Hyderabad, Karnataka region for a longer, in a longer vision kind of a mood. So I think it is more of a longer political vision that KCR has when it comes to the Hyderabad, Karnataka region, rather than for the upcoming elections. It is mostly about establishing BRS's presence and probability even testing waters.
Well, all right. On that note, we're going to slip into a quick break here. We're going to continue to probe, however, the Karnataka Assembly elections 2023. Stay tuned. Keep watching News 9 Live.